warm greetings to all lovers of short mini travels in Scotland. Today I was going to visit North Berwick for the first time in my life. A tiny area, only 3.42 square kilometers in size, a city that became a trendy resort back in the 19th century. The weather is real Scottish today, so I walk briskly along the south shore of the Firth of Forth. I walk along the seaside settlement, the Gaelic name of which, oddly enough, translates as Barley Farm. By the way, in the UK there is already one Berwick in the south, and it's located next to the River Tweed. And North Berwick stands on the coast of the bay, which collects the waters of several Scottish rivers, including the River Forth. There are quite a lot of people on the street, including a strange statue figure in the form of a greenish-gray man with binoculars. And I am at a loss to guess, is today some kind of special day or is it always crowded here? But I have just entered North Berwick itself and I'm carefully examining its surroundings. How do you, for example, shoot with a giant stone, a seagull throwing back its open beak on a pedestal? By the way, there are quite a lot of them here. They swim and circle over the lit waves of the bay, cry and actively catch small fish. I don't know about you, but for some reason I was flooded with incomprehensible sentimental feelings when contemplating blocks of stones, blue water and green hills, under the cacophony of a bird's cry and a refreshing splash of cold water. How do you like North Berwick? Personally, I have two kinds of impressions of it. At first glance, it's an ordinary European settlement with modern architecture and a good road surface. But this is only at first glance. Immediately, the emotions of immersion from the dust of centuries begin to overwhelm to the contemplation of the obvious signs of antiquity. For example, ancient Middle Age street signs. When I looked at them, a chill ran under my skin from the obvious presence of ghosts in the distant past. I peer into squat stone houses, see pointed in Gothic style the canopies of roofs, inhale the salty air due to the proximity of the bay, and understand, here it is, the centuries-old past revived. You know, there was even some confusion about the strangeness for me, the cocktail of modern urbanization and the too intense manifestation of the history of North Berwick. It's, about 2000 years old. At the same time, it's reliably known that the official name first appeared in 1250. But I want to tell you a little about something else, about my ascent to the hill, which is visible from many places, and this hill is called North Berwick Law. Oh, and here are the signs of civilization in the 21st century. Parking for cars. There is a car park. signposted to the B1347 as soon as it leaves the outskirts of North Berwick. The pass landing around the south side of the Lough gives you access to the pass leading you upwards. Signposts are kept to a minimum, but you don't really need them. The main trail follows the back or south side of the Lough as you go up, and while you could take a shortcut straight up at some places, the best way is one that turns back a few times as it goes up. The first truly amazing moment of the ascent comes when you turn west on the summit and get your first view of North Berwick and the Firth of Forth. From here, the pass zigzags more around the front of the Lough and gets a bit fragmented as you get closer to the top. Much of the trail is in grass that has been worn down by many feet. In one or two places it has broken into the soil below, and in a number of places closer to the top you may end up on rock that has been polished to a smooth finish and can be slippery, especially when wet. The pinnacle of North Berwick Lough is home to more structures than you might imagine. Just below the summit to the north are the remains of a stone building which was used as a guardhouse during the Napoleonic Wars in around 1800. The soldiers who were here lit a warning fire if they saw French ships trying to enter the Firth of Forth. The Lough served this purpose for a long time. In 1544, the watch, this time of the English fleet of Henry VIII, was carried out by nuns in a nearby Cistercian monastery. During the Second World War, it served as an observation post. This time the troops were based in a brick and concrete structure to the west of the Napoleonic guardhouse. The summit itself is best known as the home of a pair of whale jaw bones, standing in a small enclosure and surrounded by railings. The first set was placed in the enclosure in 1709. In 1935 there was a storm and it was blown away, but it was replaced. In 2005 the spare pair was also in danger of collapse and was removed. North Berwick was not the same without the whale bones in the Berwick Lough, and due to environmental concerns, they were replaced in June 2008 with a pair made from fiberglass, cast from those removed in 2005, with the entire cost covered by an anonymous donor from North Berwick. After 3 years of no bones, North Berwick Lough looked rebuilt again. Well, up, so up. Fortunately, the road is wide and delightfully smooth. I walk over the cliff along its edge, and my heart stops in my chest. Still wood. To my right, on a very narrow pass, there is a pile of mossy stones, and to my left, a wild expanse of air. A wrong step there, and a deadly flight is guaranteed. From below, a structure called the whalebone is clearly visible. Of course, I have a strong desire to quickly get up and examine them in detail, because this is one of the important attractions of this area. Well, I keep going up, and here is almost the end point of my journey, the approaches of the top of Berwick Lough. Well, here we have overcome a long climb. I had to stomp on large boulders all the way to the very top. The pass just disappeared under them. Surprisingly, from below, it seemed not so high, but on top of the hill, the height and the spread out in the distance view is breathtaking. The panorama the visual effect of which is enhanced by gusts of strong wind, is really impressive, especially the invitingly blue expanse of the bay. Well, the settlement stretched along the coast. Everything, as in the palm of your hand, is neat, okay, friendly. The beauty is simply incredible, but I closed one more of my fats planned for today. I got to the mustache. From this location, the view of the city below became even more striking. To be honest, I felt dizzy, either from the excess of impressions or from a decent height. Remembering the rocky part of the pass, I didn't want to go down. But it's necessary. The time has come to leave this realm of nature and the man-made beauty. Of course, the descent took less time than the ascent, but instead of an anticipation of joy, sadness gripped me. I really didn't want to say goodbye to North Berwick. And I also noticed some very old ones, either at home or as outbuildings. Even down here, they radiate age-old byways. The cars arranged in orderly rows are only a little sobering, as if for a moment they are pulled out of the whirlpool of the Middle Ages into the 21st century, and then they are released back. One has only to stumble upon the artifacts of the past present here in abundance. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to the channel.